This is HaShulchan Yardea Simon Yud Sif Hey to Ches. This is day 44 of a supplemental HaShulchan Yomi cycle. Hey, HaShulchan B'Kul B'Sakin Shalkutim Shouldn't Balum Mitrefus. If somebody shechts with a Jewish knife of a non-Jew, which is full absorbed of trefus, he has to peel off the place where he shechted. The place where the shechita takes place is if it's boiling, absorbs from the knife. Besides that, even we don't treat it as if it's boiling, nevertheless, because of the pressure of the knife, which press against the neck boleh absorbs. It's goes without saying that if the knife has been used within the past 24 hours, for a prohibited substance, I feel even has been used in the past 24 hours. Even though that which absorbed in vessels, which is not more than 24 hours old, gives an off taste and is permitted. But the default assumption on a knife is that there's fatty deposits on its surface. As if the isser is not absorbed but is outright. So Rashba and the Ra and the Ran. More than a layer peeling off, you don't require. Because the heat of the place of the shechita is less even than the heat of a kli sheni, which goes to a sin kufay. So obviously it's not going to absorb more than a peel's worth. Some say that it's only if we know that the knife has been used in the past 24 hours for prohibited substances. If it's not known, and by default we assume that the vessel has not been used in the past 24 hours. And so you don't even require peeling. It's enough just to rinse. So toss in the rush. Because the fatty deposit on the knife also gets spoiled or gives an off taste after 24 hours on account of the metal. I remember that svar before. Nature of metal is to ruin taste. If anything extra, it's not considered to be within, as if it's within 24 hours. V'das Rambam, but no matter what, you don't require peeling. Sorry, by it's enough to rinse. Because that the place of shechita takes place is considered to be cold. You still have to rinse it. Because some type of fatty deposit got wiped off there. Even though it didn't get absorbed into the flesh of the animal, that's in the walls of the place where the shechita took place. It's not possible to have the walls of a knife that do not have fatty deposits. Brackets, it says that this is Rashi, Rashi Pasuk Karab. This is Rashi interpretation of Chana, although the Ram Pasuk like, but the Rashi himself Pasuk like Rav. We hold you have to peel it. That's most of it showing that you can't give a coke to the all the Achraim agree with that. Lamaisa, it's almost never happens because all shechting have their own knives. Vav, now let the shecht deliberately with the assumption you're going to peel after shechita. The general principle, the kol should shechita, anything which requires you to do a procedure after shechita. You're not allowed liberally to align this kind of shechita before the shechita because if you maybe forget, lo yaseh, you won't do it. Much goes out with Simon Aleph. And even according to the Rambam, it doesn't require klipa, only requires adacha, just rinsing. Also, you can't shecht on the basis of the assumption you're going to do the rinsing after the shechita. You're going to have to rinse off anyway, because before you salt any meat, you have to rinse it. Nevertheless, we're concerned shemi it's basar. And we're going to roast the meat. And then you don't need roasting before you don't need rinsing before you roast. The rinsing before salting it's just a perfunctory rinse. Here you have to scrub significantly. The Hasham is because account of the fat. That's the rat. If it's a knife which is very well wiped Perhaps it's missile. If it's not known if it's used within 24 hours. Mitam account the cold nursing time got mutter b'diavad. Anytime it gives an off test, it's mutter taste. It's mutter after the fact. Can lean shchita mutter. That's in the normal cases. Here by shchita, perhaps it's mutter even the chatchila if it's not clear la halacha. Zayin imishchis is talking about tusha the if you sharpen the knife with a whetstone, I think it's called officially in English. The nuts or also you put in kosher, or you stuck it 10 times in hard ground. And so you don't require a quick klipa. I feel we can ben yom even it was used within past 24 hours. There's the base of shchita ain't no krosel gomer because the base of shchita is not like absolute boiling. And I'll be therefore, even though sharpening and stabbing in the ground is not effective for saying which has to come into contact with something which is truly boiling, much closer to seeing Kuchav Aleph, nevertheless, in terms of the heat level of the base of Shchita, we're not concerned after you went through this procedure of sharpening or of stabbing the ground, that the knife is going to emit taste and cause that taste to be absorbed by basar in the meat. And if you sharpen the knife, you can matter even deliberately to shech with that knife. The Yitzav, all he did was stab in the ground, but b'diavad only in a b'diavad situation. It's a shach. V'da, you should know, says HaShulchan, the stabbing in the ground only works if the knife does not have indentations on its sides, which go there. Those who matter even to shech, even if you just stabbed in the ground, that's the pach. If it's a difficult extenuating circumstances, another knife available. Allowed to shech even deliberately, even just by the stabbing in the ground. That's the Ramah. I can't say let's wait after 24 hours. You've gone so the off taste, which so that the taste is absorbed should become off. Let's not be within 24 hours. So a case where you need to meet today. The Torah writes, the sakin which you shecht is kosher, even though it's dirty with blood. Allowed to shecht it another time. Now to use it to cut roseach, hot food. You can cut cold food with it idea before you use it. A knife which you had shecht an animal turned to be a treifa. You're not allowed to use it again until you rinse it with cold water, or wipe it off with something hard. Today the custom is to rub it well on the hair of the animal. Ben called shchita between shchita. Sharp it down, it's good. Without rinsing it, you're there base of shchita and rinse the place where you shechted it. If you frequently shech trefus with it, and you have to stab it 10 times in hard ground. And the Shulchan writes, evidently quotes that Torah. And tomorrow we'll see the Arukh HaShulchan's explanation, which is longish, of the Torah.